Cherry Street is not happening.
Good evening. This meeting will come to order. This is the Zoning Board of Appeals, July 2018 meeting. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call. We have a few people missing.
Okay, Mr. Vicino, Ms. Valcott, and Mr. Dubois were unable to join us tonight. Mr. Hirsch.
Here.
Mr. Soto.
Here.
Ms. Ferrante.
Here.
Mr. Tizola.
Here. Christine Valcott.
Yeah.
You didn't mention her, but she's not here.
Yeah, no, actually,
Okay.
I did.
Also present is Meg Green, our recording secretary, and Stephen Harris, our zoning officer. There's only 4 board members here this evening, and you know you need 4 votes, so you have an option to move your hearing if you would like. And if you feel there's anyone here on this board that might be a conflict of interest to your application, please let us know. So if everyone is all set with that, okay? Proceed. Thank you.
Item number 2, 1595B Boston Post Road, MBP 100/805/13 FKA parcels 11, 11B, and 12A, CDD 5, John Nuff Esquire for RJ Milford LLC owner, vary section 5.1.4, minimum off-street parking requirements.
Okay, before we get started, I neglected to mention that item number 1, 273 Cherry Street, is extended to next month. So you may proceed with item number 2. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Amy Sugins. I'm an attorney at Hurwitz, Sagrin, Salzburg, and Nuff with offices here in Milford. I'm here representing Milford Storage LLC, who is the applicant for this variance. As noted in our application materials, this is the property which I think everybody knows more commonly as the building with REI, Panera, and the Verizon store. This is a variance to allow to reduce the parking requirement for the self-storage use in the building by 5 spaces. As outlined in our materials, this would provide parking at a rate of 1 space per 1,000 square feet. At other locations in the city, self-storage is generally parked at a ratio of 1 to 5,000 square feet or 1 to 10,000 square feet. So even with the granting of the variance, this is well above what would be what we believe to be the necessary parking on the property. There is parking provided at a total of 280 spaces for the shopping center as a whole, and we believe that the 280 is sufficient to allow this additional 4,000 square feet of the building to be used for self-storage in addition to the 12,000 square feet that is already located in the building. So as I said, the CDD2 does actually have an explicit parking requirement, and that's at the 1 space per 10,000 square feet. And then the Life Storage Facility, which is the former Westies, just a few parcels down, is parked at just under 1 per 5,000 square feet. The issue here is that the CDD5 does not include a specific parking ratio for this type of use, and so what had been previously approved was a parking ratio based on warehouse space at 1 per 750 square feet. We believe that the unusual hardship here is that because of the existing regulations, not including anything with respect to a parking requirement, we are unable to provide, have reasonable use of this additional 4,000 square feet without the variance. We do believe it's the minimum necessary to accomplish the goal of utilizing this space effectively, and there will be no negative impact on the property. To the extent that there are any questions about the breakdown of the parking, it is included on the zoning plan, that it was included as part of the materials. But if you have any specific questions, I'm happy to answer them. But otherwise, I want you to keep it short and sweet.
Any questions? Go ahead, Mr.
I assume that the spaces you're going to remove do not include handicap spaces?
No, what it is, the spaces will remain as is. It's the conversion of this 4,000 square feet into self-storage that would generate the need for 5 additional spaces. We just don't want to have to create them on site. Oh, the other thing I will add, we did discuss with the city planner the concept of a text amendment to mirror what was in the CDD2. It was his recommendation that he did not want to see that happen from a planning perspective, and thought that the variance would be the more appropriate request given the nature of the ask and the desire not to see additional locations in the CDD5, and some kind of encouragement of more of the freestanding self-storage spaces in that zone.
This is an existing 4,000 square feet that's behind?
Correct. So it's underneath you, so you can't see it from the post road. If you were to go into the site and go around the back of the building, that's where the spaces are located.
And is there already parking established back there right now?
There is. So if you look at the there are spaces. I'm looking at the Z1 zoning plan that was as part of the materials. If you come in from the post road and head to the back of the building, that's where the various loading docks and things, and there's additional spaces in the back.
Any other additional questions? None? You all set? Okay. Is there anyone else speaking on this application, in favor of this application? Is there anyone here opposed to this application? No further questions? Okay, this hearing's closed.
Thank you.
Well, I believe there's plenty of parking in the whole area. We're only talking, you know, this is almost like setting the record straight formality, really. So all we need is a motion on this.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Approval is based on the hardship of the shopping center parking situation.
We have a motion to approve. We have a second on the motion. Mr. Hirsch?
With the motion.
Mr. Soda?
With the motion.
Ms. Ferranti?
With the motion.
I'm with the motion. It's approved.
Item number 3, 6 Edgewood Avenue, MBP 55/510/38, R5. Thomas Lynch Esquire for 3S Properties LLC, contract owner, and J.R. Beckett, owner. Vary section 3.1.4.1 southeast Park Circle, front yard setback to 17.2 feet where 20 feet required, rear yard setback to 20.7 where 25 required, to construct residence.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. Just for the record, my name is Thomas Lynch. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Lynch, Trimbicki, and Boynton, and my office is located here in Milford at 63 Cherry Street. And I'm here tonight with my clients, Chris and Buddy Field. Chris and Buddy are longstanding builders here in Milford for over 30 years. The family has constructed many residential and multifamily developments. I've had the pleasure of representing them many times before this board and the Planning and Zoning Board. And tonight we're before you with an application to vary the front yard and the rear yard setback for a piece of property that's located at the corner of Edgewood Avenue and Park Circle here in Milford. The application specifically seeks to vary what the zoning office has construed the front yard setback off of Park Circle from 20 feet to 17.2 feet, and the rear yard along the southerly portion of the property from the required 25 feet to what I will say tonight, an average of 22 feet. The construction of the house that's envisioned and shown on the plan basically runs with a setback of 20.6 inches, 20 feet 6 inches, and 23 feet. So if you average that, it comes to about 22 feet. So just a little bit of background. The property, I think we all know where it's located. It's in that area of homes behind the old Milford Academy on Edgewood and Park Circle. It's 2 properties back from the old Queens Market, which was a mixed-use property on the corner of Edgewood and New Haven Avenue. And between that property and this property, there is a 2-family residence as well. So in the SFA 10 zone, there's a variety of uses. There's duplexes, 2 families. What my client wants to do, and this was a legal non-conforming lot that was certified by the zoning office based on an application from the previous owner, Errol Van Heist. It was certified as a legal non-conforming lot under section 642 of the zoning regulations. He wants to construct, or they want to construct, a single-family residence on the property as shown on the plan. Now, the lot itself was a lot on a 1914 subdivision map entitled Lots of Edgewood Avenue. It consists of some 4,138 square feet, and ironically, under our current zoning regulations, the size of that lot is not that much smaller than what the SFA 10 requirement is. But I've made this argument to this board many times, and the handout that I've given to you tonight shows the elevations of the proposed house and the floor plans, but then on the front page, a very telling picture, speaks 1,000 words, shows a house that could be built of right. And as we've seen on these lots that are non-conforming lots on corners, you have to hold a front yard setback off of both streets. So if we did build a house that conformed with the zoning regulations, that picture shows the skinny, narrow, 3-story tall house that would result. What my clients want to do is build a house that would be more aesthetically pleasing to the neighborhood. It would be more in conformity with the neighborhood. And as the floor plans shown to you indicate, it would be a rather small colonial, some 1,138 square feet, consisting of 3 bedrooms, a 1-car garage, which would provide off-street parking. Again, if you've been on Edgewood or Park Circle, a lot of the homes there, since they are 2-family houses, it creates a situation where there's a lot of on-street parking. The garage here would eliminate that somewhat by providing the off-street parking. The house itself is reasonably sized for the lot. It's 26 feet by 42 feet. And again, I stress to you the hardship that exists here is the fact that because it's a corner lot, we have to hold setbacks off of both streets, and it creates a situation where a reasonably sized house really wouldn't be able to be built on the property. So that's the sum and substance of our presentation to you. I've shown the plans, and if you have any additional questions, I'd be happy to entertain them.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Soto.
Okay.
Attorney Lynch, how many square feet is the house?
2,200.
2,200,
I think I said 1,100.
Yeah,
it's
you said
1,100 each floor. Sorry
Okay.
about that.
You got a 1-foot cantilever on the front, but you don't show it on your elevation. So the second floor, you're cantilevering 1 foot, right? In the front?
Yep.
Okay.
You have another question?
No.
No. The house, there was a house there before.
No, there wasn't.
There wasn't? That's
No,
always been a vacant
It's always
lot?
been vacant, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay. Because my question was going to be,
It was part of the property right next door that is between the old Queens and the 2-family behind that.
okay, because I was going to ask you which way the previous house had faced, Park Circle or Edgewood, so.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
going to face Park Circle.
Okay. Okay, any other questions? No? Sarah, you have a question? No. Anyone else speaking in favor? Anyone here speaking in favor? Is there anyone opposed to this application? Further questions? We all set? All set? Board? Yeah? Okay, this hearing's closed.
Thank you.
Well, and looking at these pictures, I think the proposed as to what could be allowed is a lot better aesthetically, and it looks like it should fit right here in the neighborhood very well. So we need a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion based on the fact that it's a corner lot.
Okay. We have a motion to approve, and we have a second on the motion. Mr. Hirsch?
With the motion.
Mr. Soda?
With the motion.
Ms. Ferranti?
With the motion.
I'm with the motion, it's approved.
Item number 4, 65 Hawley Avenue, MBP 71/767/8R5, Hillary Roberts, owner, vary section 4.1.4, side yard projection to 5.15 feet, where 8 feet permitted to build a rear deck.
Hi, good evening. My name's Hillary Roberts. I'm the owner of 65 Hawley, and I'm requesting a variance to 5.15 feet where 8 feet is permitted on the left side of my property in order to build a deck. My property is 27 feet wide, which is considered undersized, and that's the reason for the variance request. The proposed deck is contained within the width of the house, and I have 3 letters of support from neighbors. One of the letters of support is from the neighbor on the left-hand side, which is the neighbor that would be affected by the deck, by the variance, and they're fully supportive of the request. Are there any questions?
Yeah, the size of the deck, please?
It's 17 by 20 with a stairwell on the end. So the request is only for one side.
Okay, any questions? Mr. Hirsch, go ahead.
I'm sorry, is there a deck there currently?
There's currently a small deck there that's basically falling down and needs to be replaced.
Shows it on the existing deck. I guess they're going to take that away. Questions? Any other questions?
What's the back? What's the rear yard setback on that? 18 feet, what is it supposed to be in that zone?
I know that I can extend out 24 feet. So it's,
Sarah, what was the variances? She was going for side yard and just side yard, so she doesn't need...
requesting a variance for the
Mr.
side.
Chairman,
Side yard.
Yeah, Mr. Harris.
the zone is R5, so for a deck, the setback would be 16 feet.
She doesn't need a setback for the rear.
With the request is 18.3 feet, so it's within.
So she's asking for 6 inches about?
Mr. Harris, can you clarify anything on the rear deck and why we would need a variance on this, on the side?
Well, one side has to be 8 feet for a projection, the other side has to be 4 feet for a projection, so they need the one side yard on the top of the map, or the northerly side, where it's 5.15. She's asking for 5.15 when she needs 8.
Did you get that? Yeah, so she's looking through for 3 feet. So,
No
good.
question.
No question? Okay. Okay, any other questions? Do you see we didn't ask for a hardship, but, huh? We need, do you have a hardship that you could state on?
The hardship is the width of the lot is 27 feet, when currently you would need to have 50 feet in order to build a property.
Okay, thank you.
So in other words, the hardship for you would be the size of the lot?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, is there anyone else speaking in favor? I know there's no one there, but they might be here in the side hall listening. Is there anyone here opposed? No one's opposed, okay. Any further questions? No? Okay, this hearing's closed. Okay. Usual thoughts and discussion?
Well, my first thought was that the 20 feet was a little excessive, but if she doesn't need a rear yard setback, I don't have a problem with it, so.
She's not going beyond the current width of the house.
Okay, who wants to make a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
Second?
Approval is based on the hardship of the narrowness of the lot.
We have a motion to approve, and we have a second on the motion. Mr. Hirsch?
With the motion.
Mr. Soda?
With the motion.
Ms. Ferranti?
With the motion.
I'm with the motion, it's approved. Okay. That's it for our agenda. New business. We have nothing under new business, right? Anything under old business? Staff update? Simple, huh? Did we read our minutes from last month to see if there's any errors or corrections?
I just had one question. What's going to happen with the Milford Cemetery Association matter?
Well, we can
I
ask
can
Mr.
answer that. They took an extension. The hearing is still open. So when August rolls around, they can present new information if they have any. If nobody presents new information, you can close the public hearing. They can take their last extension if they choose.
As stated by Mr. Harris, we've heard a lot. It has to be new. So I can't imagine what they're coming up with new, but we'll see, so hopefully that we can resolve that next month. So acceptance of the minutes from our, we have the wrong date here.
Do I?
Yes, it says August. I'm looking at this. Acceptance, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Acceptance of the minutes from June. I'm sorry.
No worries.
We said, okay. All in favor on the minutes?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Applications for August. Just what we have open. We have the
Cemetery.
Cherries, just the cemetery, 273. Okay. All right. Motion to adjourn?
7:23.
7:23.
This meeting is adjourned.